Alright, I have some nettle fibers that are dried that were harvested earlier this season in the spring, or late spring rather. And I'm going to try and show you how to thigh roll these. I have a video on reverse twisting, which is actually, in my experience, maybe just my ability, is a little bit more tighter and more uniform than than thigh rolling. But thigh rolling is quicker. So if you need large or long lengths of cordage, uniform cordage, treated cordage, then thigh rolling is usually faster. So I'm just going to prep my my fiber stock here. I had them twisted up in kind of like a skein fashion for wool. So I'm just going to kind of undo them and get them ready, the fibers separated, so I can add them as I need them during this process. Alright, here's a ball that I'm starting on using thigh rolling so that I can get enough cordage to make a small net. So this is just some time over process, starting and stopping. I'm going to try to finish this out, what I've got left, but I'm going to show you how to get started with the from the beginning. So here I essentially have my raw fibers, and I'm going to use this as a fiber stock, and I want to kind of separate these out as best I can. Nettle fibers tend to act like Velcro and stick to one another pretty good, so it's best to work this wet or damp. Can be kind of frustrating. So I'm going to separate out a full length, and then I'll separate out another full length to show you splicing, how to work in other fibers. So there. Okay, let's get started. So what you want to do is, once you have your fibers separated, and this needs to be worked a little bit more, you can work nettles down to where they're really cottony and you can break up the fibers. Usually that's through pounding on a stump or with a rock or something, or a piece of wood and a mallet or something like that. But for just quick and dirty, or just to make, just utilize the fibers, you can just use them pretty much like this. And you're working them, you're going to be breaking up the husk from the fibers themselves anyways. So you're going to take a full length here, and I'm using a spray bottle. You can use a bucket of water, but or your hand, use saliva with your hand, and it's just good, like I said, to get these fibers wet. And you'll need the spray bottle or to wet them periodically as you go through the process. And as you can see, I'm already just starting to kind of roll to get these uniform or under control. Okay. Now, I'm going to kind of even these out. You don't necessarily have to. Actually, it's really actually not recommended to have even splicing when we get to that. So we'll kind of stagger this a little bit. And I'll go ahead and just twist this up until I can get a kink in it. And then from previous videos, you'll see how to reverse twist. Twist top strand away, grab and pull the other strand towards, and repeat. So that's doing this by hand. Okay, but that takes a little while. For me, it's more uniform in a tighter coil. But this is just a faster technique. So to get you for serviceable cordage. So again, wet the strands down, take the individual strands and start to twist them away from you. So I want to spread these out, take my hand and roll like that, and then let that go. And you can see that coil up. Pinch it, start back and repeat. I'm going to push this and roll this like so, and let that repeat. And then I can kind of twist the other end. Again, they will want to twist on themselves, so feel free to move it open, take your time, keep them separated, twist, and then then twist the other side. Really quick, really simple. I recommend learning how to reverse twist by hand first, and then you'll appreciate this technique a little bit more. And again, it's easier to do this on your bare skin. A bit of warning: I'm working with nettles, and again, if you're allergic to nettles, stings, nettle toxins, venom, then you may not want to do this. Blue jeans may work. Sometimes, especially if this is real fresh, you can still get irritation from it. But, if you're harvesting stinging nettle, nearby should be jewelweed or plantain or yellow dock leaves and stems to be able to, that'll help neutralize any stings. It'll draw out the poison, the toxin. It'll draw out the cocktail of poisons. Spray this down, coming to the end, and then twist it. And again, the more downward pressure you have on this and the tighter you roll it, the tighter your coils are going to be. Your twist. And sometimes you can pinch and pull back and twist again to get a tighter twist, and then let it go. Like so. Okay. Now we're about almost coming to the end. And again, when you get loose fibers like this, feel free to work them back in there. Especially if you end up getting strands that one is bigger or fatter than the other. You just can kind of work them off and work them in there. So you're adding and laying into. So we're getting to a point where we're going to splice in some extra length to continue on. And again, this is somewhat asymmetrical. It could be a little bit more, but this splicing technique here works pretty good. It's pretty strong. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to pinch this. And a lot of times if you're doing this and you want to take a break, you go ahead and take this and just put a loose, loop knot in there, just to hold it in place. Then it doesn't come undone on you. So while I'm going to set this aside, I'm going to get this other piece done or ready. Again, you want them roughly the same amount of strands or diameters. It takes a little bit of practice and eyeballing. And again, I'm still working on that. But when you need some quick cordage, then, if you're not trying to thread a needle with it, then I'm not really concerned with how small it's going to be or how uniform it is, as long as it works. So again, this is the other length that I'm going to work in. Here. Now, I don't have to twist this. I don't have to do the kink on this. I'm just going to take this and get kind of an asymmetrical length on it if I want to continue on. And I'm going to make a bite or make a bend in the cordage here. I'm going to find my loop with the other one, kind of pull this out. You don't have to do that, but it's just a good practice. And then there's two ways you can do this. You can lay this in between like so, and continue on. What ends up happening though is, unless you're really careful, you end up getting a bulge for the extra bulk that you've created. Sometimes you can asymmetrically lay them in there, or you can find one of the ends. I hope you can see that, and this is a real thin end, so I'll just kind of double that over, like so, and work one of the ends in, and I usually just reverse twist it once or twice and then work it in. But I'm not going to do that. You can see how to splice them in my other videos for doing the reverse twist. This one I didn't really cover, so I'm going to cover this, and this is much more of a faster technique. And even if it gives you a slight bulge, it's not that big of a deal, like I said. Alright, so I'm going to just lay this in there. Hope you can see that. Spread these apart. Lay this in there like so. And then I hand twist to get it started, just to lock it in. And then I can continue on with my strategy. And just kind of roll. I'm going to hold that. There's one way to do it. Hold this, and then roll them both. And see, there's a little bit of thickness in there, but it'll go away. You know, so I can roll this out, hold that with my finger, and I can roll this other one, and then continue to roll them out. That's another way to do this. Or you can just plain keep them apart, and then roll and let go, and let them twist on themselves. Just like so. So I'm running out of length on this end. I got plenty of length on the other end. I got plenty of length on the other end here. I'm running out of length here. So I'm going to add some more length. But that's pretty much side rolling. And when you're done with what you're doing, you just put a knot in the end. I'm going to grab some more from my stock. Alright, in a relatively short amount of time, we have a length of treated cordage. It's pretty much ready to be used. Okay? For, bow drill, lashings, crafts, larger trap parts, whatever. Cordage would be considered as part of the sacred order of survival, that being fire, shelter, water. Some people will say fire, shelter, water, food. And as far as human beings are concerned, some people would say there's a fifth element, which is cordage. So fire, shelter, water, food, and cordage. Because we are tool makers, and we can do a lot with cordage. We can make nets. We can make ropes, traps, bowstrings, tools, strings for pump drills, clothing, anything really. There's so much you can do. Baskets, mats, furniture. You can do with just weaving fibers. So, to me, it's important to know the fibrous plants in your area that you can harvest and make use of. Those annoying weeds that come up every year that you don't know what to do with, and they're so invasive. Well, if you do a little research, you might find out that there's something that can be done with them, that you might even be able to turn around and, if you become skilled enough, sell for money. Baskets and clothing, or some elaborate knotwork, macrame, hammocks, so you never know. Just some ideas out there, but that's essentially it for thigh rolling. And just keep on going until you run out of stock, until you run out of fibers.